Hey y'all. Hey Lita Pretty Brown Eyes. Hey Aries Queen. Right, Aries? Girl. I had to come over here and do a quick reaction. I should have put reaction video in the title, but I had to do a quick want to come on and do a quick reaction video to the crap I just listened to on Sister George's page, right? Let me know if y'all can hear me, right? So first of all, um, hey Leela, how you doing? First of all, George, you didn't lie when you said that you were manipulative. Now, one of the reasons why, let me start here. Sister George initially had asked me to come on her page, right? Hey, Saida, hey, Adelina, and do the interview, right? Have the conversation about, um, thank you, Brandy Moore, what was said the other day on Faith's channel in reference to the little girl in the back of the bus, right? And so I knew from the jump that it was a setup because she is Manosphere. She is male identified. She knows she was wrong, and she admittedly is very manipulative. And not only is she manipulative, she is disingenuous and she is a flat out liar, right? So if I would have came up there initially, um, it would have been a whole other conversation, right? So she pays this lady to come on her channel. Now the therapist doesn't know anything about this. She doesn't understand the context of the conversation. She doesn't understand the politics and the dynamics of the sector, right? So that is the first manipulation. And then she gets up there and prefaces the part of the video. She starts the video not like I said, the lady didn't initially didn't understand the context of the conversation, because where she started the video at was when when they were in the heat of they were getting ready to discuss the fact of what she said about the little girl on the back of the school bus. She's disingenuous because she didn't say that the only reason why she said that is because she was trying to divert away from the conversation that they were having about her husband in Bomb Cherry's inbox, right? In the first place. That is the reason why. That is how all of this conflict started. She was very defensive, and she wanted to divert the conversation, right? So the lady didn't know the context of that, right? So the lady don't know the dynamics of the sector. The sector is very volatile, right? So she's being disingenuous, right? So the lady, number one, she don't want to offend her. Number two, she really don't understand what's going on. She probably can't believe she was hearing what she was hearing coming out of George's mouth, because she wants to come on and act like she's really calm and cool and collected when she ain't really nothing but a basic ass hood rat, right? That's all that she is. We all know this. A basic lying, disingenuous hood rat. That's all she is. Like, she real simple, right? And she real insecure. Okay, so she didn't understand that. So she's playing the conversation. The lady's trying to be professional. And she says she's 2 years into counseling. Girl, I've been doing it for over 20, right? So after I heard that, I dropped down and I was like, well, okay, like I said, it would have been a whole setup situation if I would have came on there initially, right? It would have been a whole different conversation, right? I am very biased when it comes to this conversation because it involves children and children being harmed, right? Her the whole comment was just so deplorable and so disgusting. That's why everybody's been talking about it for as long as we've been talking about it. All right. In the first place, you never should have said it. Yes, you was triggered. Now, this is what's interesting to me. Now, when it comes to the therapist that was up there, the counselor, whatever she's calling herself, the fact that and maybe, you know what, this was not a counseling session. The lady didn't want to overstep. I understand that. But something that she should have touched on is the fact that the one thing that George said was, because y'all know I listened, right? Um, Linda Anderson said, great, great, great grandma, you couldn't wait to flap your filthy no teeth gums. I got a full set of teeth, but I'll drop the link if you want to come and say it to my face. Let me finish my commentary. Stick around for a while. You might learn something, Linda. So the thing that y'all know I'm a good listener. So the thing that I found very interesting. Oh, and also, if you guys were listening, did you not hear the lady pretty much say everything that I had already said ahead of time in reference to the conversation? Right, a lot of what I had already said on my previous video. The lady pretty much mimicked that. Right, what I had just said. No, she hadn't heard my video, but I was just writing my analysis. Right, because she was analyzing the same way. So I will give her that. But the one thing that I wish you would have touched on real quick is because you guys know that this is more than just a YouTube talking point for me. I am serious when it comes to the conversation about children and those types of abuses, right? I'm serious when it comes to the conversation of childhood trauma. So knowing that I am serious about childhood trauma, the one thing that I heard George say that I believe was the fact that when she said she was talking about how she was shuffled back and forth between her grandmom and her mom, and that her mom was on drugs, right? So when she said that, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm right about this also. Now, when I said I believe that at one point George was so triggered that she was projecting, right? So it was stand the reason that if her mom was on drugs at one point in time, she may have been that little girl on the back of the bus, or she may have been that little girl that something happened to. She may have been not believed. She may have been looked over, or said she was telling a lie, or you know just anything. But when she said that, yeah, did you hear Ernest Green say that when she said that her mom was on drugs at one point in time? That let me know everything I needed to know about George, right? So she goes on talking. The lady didn't delve into that. And like I said earlier today, I would like to have and probably will never happen, but I would like to have, if she ever would like to have a real conversation about how about her childhood trauma, I would be happy to have it, right? But when she said her mom was on drugs, that let me know that, yeah, something more than likely happened to her as well, right? And so I really wish that the lady would have stopped right there and talked to her about that situation, because when she said that, that lets us know why she is the way that she is. That lets us know why she is male identified. That lets us know why she is awkward around women. That lets us know why she is insecure. That lets us know why she seeks validation from other men. That lets us know why she has a whole YouTube marriage, right? Now, also while I'm over there, I'm commenting in the comment section. At one point in time, I got timed out, which is cool. I didn't say anything after that because Curlin, the husband, became defensive as well, because he is weak, and I don't care nothing about what no Manosphere ninja got to say anyway, right? But for the fact that I did tell her that, I knew, like I said, originally it was going to be a different conversation. Had I came up and had the conversation with her, um because she says, Atari said something about, she was like, get your popcorn, get your wine. So that lets me know she was ready to go to war, right? So why am I gonna go up her for a whole setup on somebody else's channel? I'm not gonna do that. I'll just come over here and give my commentary and make my own video for my own coin, right? And I also will be able to say what I needed to say uninterrupted, right? I don't have to battle war with her. I don't have to raise my voice with her. That's how it would have started and ended on her channel, and she knows that, right? Or either she thought she was going to be able to manipulate me the way that she manipulated that lady, right? So number one, going back to earlier when we were on the Atari's channel, she wouldn't come back up when I asked her to come up. She was weak, and she'll run in a track star, just like she did the same thing. I asked her to drop. I did ask her to drop the link when I was over there, because she was being disingenuous as hell. It was like listening to nails on a chalkboard, how fake she was being. Yeah, I'm just like, oh wow, like you really are going there, right? Everybody knows how it went down. Everybody knows how it got started. Everybody knows that you were being really defensive. It was just like a really bad look, George. It was a look, right? Isn't she disgraceful? She is disgraceful. Cause that right there, child, it was absolutely now, Linda, or Lonnie or whoever you are, I'm trying to let you stay in the chat. Like I said, if you want to hit the link when I get through with my commentary, you can. But if you say one more rude thing, I'm going to have to block you. And I don't like to block people. Like I really don't. But I'm going to finish my commentary. Just because you don't like what it is that I'm saying because I'm telling the truth and you can't take it, don't mean you could be rude in my chat. Go back over to the George and say what you got to say about me over there, okay? But anyway, as I was saying, I lost my train of thought. That's what they want to do. They don't like to hear the truth. Like I was saying, when she made that comment about her mom being on drugs, that pretty much told me everything I needed to know. Um, I don't, and I, at one point in time, I asked her, I said, but you still haven't apologized. And she was like, right, even the counselor knew after she played it from, right. She did circles back. I'm glad you said it, Urge Queen. After she played it initially, she did then circled back and played the pretty, almost the beginning of the video, right? But that's after the fact that she manipulated that lady into, trying to make it seem like the conversation was something that it wasn't, and the conversation wasn't what she made it out to be because she was disingenuous. She didn't let the lady know the context of the conversation. The lady did not know the genesis of the conversation until she had already played the middle part of the conversation where people were already heated. That is not the way. If that is not the way you if you're being honest about being somewhat apologetic about what you, not to the chat and not to anybody on here, but apologetic about the derogatory things you said about a 10-year-old girl and make it so bad. Here's the thing. Here's another thing that's disingenuous, y'all, right? um when she's talking about little boys and little girls, children in general going through that type of childhood trauma, we all know that, right? That is a given. But George is the one that brought up the little girl. That's disingenuous as well. You are the one, because you brought up the little girl, you didn't say anything about a little boy initially. You started talking about the little boys because you was getting called out on the raggedy thing you had said about the little girl on the back of the bus. Then you try to circle back around and say little boys get molested too. You brought up the little girl. You didn't say anything about a little boy initially. You know that why they were coming at you is because what you said about a little boy, a little girl. Had you said both, they would have been conversating and commenting about both. But you did not say that. You started that narrative. You led that narrative. You inserted that story about the 10-year-old little girl, your own self, and then you've been trying to walk it back ever since. You started it. You could have said anything in the world, George. You didn't have to. Yes, she was deflecting her butt out. You did not have to even insert that comment into that conversation. But the fact that you chose to go there and use that story, hey, Atari was over there, use that story as a way of a deflection is beyond me, because you pulled that at the bottom of your small intestine and you didn't even have to go there in an effort to deflect. But you were so triggered by the conversation that they were having about your husband and your faulty YouTube marriage that's where you took it. And then you try to circle back around. But little boys have that type of childhood trauma too. Girl, we know that. But you're the one that brought the whole conversation up and you mentioned a little girl. That's being disingenuous as well. It's the whole thing was just weird. And I mean, it's just, but I tell you one thing, girl, you didn't lie when you said you was manipulated, because you manipulated the hell out of that conversation, as well as that lady. You had that lady looking crazy up there, because a lot of us know what went down. We've been talking about it for what, like a week? And then for your dude to be down in the chat covering for you is beyond me. But well, it's not beyond me because he is the author of your confusion, right? And it's just unfortunate. But a lot of I'm hoping people realize, what you were doing. But like I said, like she ran She wouldn't come back up to Atari's link today. I asked her, so I knew it was gonna be a setup, like I said at first when she asked me to come over, so the ladies up there, and I said at one point in time in the chat, I would love to have a conversation with the counselor, right? Drop the link. No, I'm not gonna drop the link, Olivia. I asked you to come up here, I asked you to da. Bitch, you knew it was gonna be a whole different type of conversation had I come up there at first. That counselor lady wouldn't have even been up there. It would have been me and you, and it would have been a battle royal because just like you have a quick temper, I have a quick temper too. It was disgusting. I couldn't take it was boring. Okay, it was disingenuous. The only thing you want to do was make it seem like you was right in what you said, and you were not right. You wasn't right then, you wasn't right now. That's why I said, but you still haven't apologized. Oh, and what she said was, I feel that you owe me and my husband an apology. Oh, you and your husband apology about what exactly? About being right and about everything that I said about you too? Is that why you feel like I owe an apology to you guys? Well, guess what? Why don't you hold your breath and wait for me to apologize? Because what I said was right and correct and true. I have nothing to apologize for. But you are weak, okay? And you are a liar and you are manipulative, like you said, and you are a whole clown around here. You are so weak, in fact, that when I finally did ask you to drop the link, even though the counselor was up there, you had the opportunity to do that. And you still was too weak to do that with the lady on the panel. Now you know I wasn't gonna swing at you with that lady on the panel. And then you would have swung at me first, and then I would have responded initially because that's what you wanted to do, right? But in order to save face, you got to pay this lady to come on your channel and pretty much manipulate the whole situation. I agree, Aries. It was boring and disingenuous. I missed a chunk of it too. But the part that I did hear, the meat and potatoes of it, was when she was misrepresenting the whole live, misrepresenting Faith's whole live, because she knows she started that whole thing when it came to the conversation about the little girl in the school bus, and she did that in the means because she wanted to deflect away from the situation about her and her raggedy A YouTube husband. That's why she did that. Girl, you are disgusting. Okay, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. But thanks for letting me know that everything that I thought about you when it comes to you and trauma, because you are projecting. That's why you got so angry as well, because you got so triggered. You started talking about yourself and your own childhood. See, that's what you did, George. That's what you did. Right at the end of the day. And like I said, Atari was there. Atari, if you still on here, did you notice that a lot of the stuff that I had said previously is some of the same things that the counselor said? Because they were the truth, even though the situation was manipulated. And also, that lady didn't want to really call you out on your nonsense. That's what she didn't want to do. Okay. And like I said, she don't know the dynamics of this sector. She don't know how you scheme and manipulate and kiss butt and you mammy and you mule for not only your husband but for the rest of these dudes around here. And then you want to make it seem like and then yeah, she said that too. And then you want to make it seem like you had never heard the Kevin Samuels video before, that little clip that you played. That's a lie. I don't believe that. You got clips, Atari? Thank you, baby. I'm so glad you get the Atari gonna break it down as she always do so well. I don't even see how you can sit through all of that. There's a reason why I have never paid her channel any attention. You know what I mean? She's just an afterthought. Just like that Irene chick to me, because chicks like that, they can't hold my attention. It's just really just monotone. It sounds very monotone when it comes to me listening to certain types of people, and she is one of those types of people that are just flatline in my brain. It's just so ignorant. It's just a flat line when it comes to people like chicks like her, you know. And so you're really creepy as well. You can be really calm, cool and collective to the point to where you sound strange when you're in your own environment, when you spin in your web of deceptions, right? It's really very creepy. Like you a little bit too calm, you a little bit too cool, you a little bit too collected, because we've heard you be a ratchet hood rat. That's what we've heard. But see, now I know after what you said about your mom being on drugs and stuff. Oh yeah, I know why you act the way you act. Uh-huh. You try to revamp yourself. Like I said, you try to revamp yourself. You try to remake yourself on these YouTube streets for a whole lot of reasons. One of those reasons is because I guess you wanted to appear to be, something that you weren't when it comes, when it comes to seeking validation from these weak Negroes on here, right? Like your husband, your little bitty half of a man, right? And so I guess he bought into it. He really don't care whether you really are what you are anyway. He just needed a nanny. He just needed somebody's skirt to hide behind. He needed somebody taller and bigger and stronger than him for protection. And so I'm assuming that's why you have a ring from that little bitty a peon of a man, from what I understand, right? And so I get that part about you and the hubby. The hubby is weak, and he is probably female identified. The roles are probably flipped in your household. Like I can see that by the way that he was acting, right? Oh, was that right, Aries Queen? But yeah, the whole thing was just weird, y'all. It was disingenuous. It was boring. It was lie filled. She was unapologetic. And one thing, and you're very narcissistic too. You're very narcissistic people. Here's the thing about narcissistic people, and you probably formed this disorder out of whatever childhood trauma that you have, right? Um, People that are very narcissistic, whatever type of attention that they get, be it good or bad, they welcome that type of attention. So she really is not lying when she said, "Oh, I saw the title of the video and I felt like they was talking about me." And when she gets up on people's panels and she's very sarcastic when she's saying, "Oh, but you this and you that and the other," in reference to people talking about her, she gets off on stuff like it because she's narcissistic, right? And she's very insecure, right? So it doesn't, anything coming out of your mouth or your actions, none of that surprises me because, girl, it's just unfortunate, you know. Right, right. She openly says that she's manipulative. That is the one thing that she told the truth about. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Is that right, Ray? Too real? I heard that. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. I mean, as far as her being, incarcerated, whatever, that's what I heard. But I don't know what. I don't listen to Tommy, so I don't know what, if anything, he said. I don't know. I refuse to listen to that fool. But anyway, y'all, I just had to come on, child, and pop on. But it tripped me out. Like I said, if she was really about that business, and if she was really that bold, like she wants the world to think that she is, she would have dropped that link, okay? And she would have hopped back on that link when I was over at Atari's, right? And you would have definitely dropped that link when I came over there tonight, after I said I wouldn't, but after the counselor was up there, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Because I really wanted to talk to the counselor more so than her. I wanted to ask the counselor why she wasn't touching on some very important things that came out of the mouth of George over there. But I can also understand why she didn't, because that lady is not in this sector. Do you see what I'm saying? And so she don't want to. I mean, she paid her to come up there and analyze the video with her. Why would she really try to break anything that she said down? You know what I mean? She's not her patient. And so I get that as well. I just thought the whole thing just left a bad taste in my mouth. Like it really did. I'm like, oh my God, is she okay? Child, the lies of it all, the lies. Mm, 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 mm. Right, she wanted to sit back and watch who support her. I agree with that. The thing was very weird. It was very weird, and it was very creepy. Though I mean, just she was just spinning a big old web up. I'm like, oh my God, is she really going there, y'all? I was like, oh my God, I have never have I ever. Baby, people like her, people like you, George, y'all, people like this chick are very dangerous, and you need to watch out for people like that, right? Here's the thing, Curly, that I want to tell you, since you think you got somebody's skirt to run behind, right? Y'all feel free to hit the link if y'all want to say, y'all got anything y'all want to say about anything that I have said. That's why I dropped it. Because unlike George, I am not afraid, okay, of a conversation. So that, that's why I dropped that link. But like I said, um, people like you are dangerous, and Curlin better watch out, right? Because see, he think he got the upper hand right now. Number one, he don't know he been tricked. Now he might. I don't even think he realized it yet that he been tricked. You've been sold a bill of goods, Curvin, and in the end, you're gonna rue the day you gave that girl a ring, okay? Because that is not a marriage. But then again, you know, you just did something for YouTube, Curlin, and you thought you was doing something good or something big. You know, you figure you know, you was doing so you was taking one for the team when it comes to the manosphere or whatever, locking it in, locking that mouthpiece in. I ain't gonna tell him what your little Betty but was thinking when you did that, and then you probably needed a nanny, because like you said, y'all got a blended, y'all she said y'all got a blended family, so you wanted to helpmate, you know, you wanted a nanny, you wanted to helpmate. You didn't marry her for love or what, and she didn't marry you for love either, right? It's a whole YouTube situation, right? Oh, he living free over there. She got more money than him. I wouldn't even be surprised. I would not be surprised, child. I would not be. I would not be surprised. Mm-mm. Him too, as far as I'm concerned. I agree, Aries. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, because it's not. They are not equally yoked. Number one. And number two is just for show. It's just a clout. It's just a clout chase, you know. And that's really sad for people their age to be dealing with something like that. In my opinion, you know, it's just real lame. It's just real day class A. It's just real. Ugh. It's just real goofy. It's a whole weird vibe that I get into there. Oh, but I did want to touch on a little bit more about when she was listening to Kevin Samuels when she said this the first time she heard of that she heard that clip of him, you know, telling that lady, you know, pretty much basically don't believe your child if she say, you know, her dad or stepdad has looked at her after shower, right? Which is deplorable. And then she's wanting to say, well, no, I don't agree with that and this, that, and the other, you know. And I really felt like the counselor was holding back when it comes to what she wanted to say about what she heard, because what Kevin Samuels was saying was really very predatory. And I understand he has a daughter, and so for him to say things like that, when the if you listen to what he said, it sounds even more predatory. It sounds even more deplorable. You know, it's just even more abusive and disgusting because he's got a daughter, he's got a mama. I don't know if he has sisters or not. And when it comes to his whole spiel, that's a you know, real dicey situation to me. And so the whole thing was creepy. But for her to act like she had heard that before, and for her to be like, I don't agree with that right there, and blah, 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 blah. Girl, you know good and well, George, that ain't the first time you heard that, right? You was just over there trying to act brand new. You was trying to, you know, make yourself not look as bad as you made yourself look initially because you were triggered. That is all you was trying. You was trying to do what it called you when the entertainers they try to you know, revamp their career. They try to, what do they call it, when they try to, you know, when they've done something bad and they try to do something good. But that's what you was over there doing. You know, you was trying to make yourself look less deplorable, but it wasn't working for me, you know, because look, like you really weren't apologetic at all. And like I said, not to me or not to any adults on here. You should have been apologetic about what you said in reference to that little girl. That's what you should have been apologetic about. And for you to say, but I got a good look Kiki girl, I got a good look, I literally heard her say, She watched KS video when Bomb played. She tried to say earlier today that she had never heard what Kevin Samuel said on that video when he was advising that woman not to believe her child. She a damn lie. I just simply do not believe that. I absolutely do not believe that tonight was the first time she heard that video. I flat out don't believe it. Hey, Faye Factor, how you doing? She probably didn't want to play Kevin's video because her therapist friend would have looked at her. She played it though. She played it. She played a little excerpt of it, and then she tried to make it seem like, yeah, I don't agree with what he said right there, or this is the first time I heard it, and I don't agree with that. But girl, that ain't the first time you heard that video, George, and you know it's not. And you know it's not. But for you to be busy, but did you notice, Faith, that how she pretty much misrepresented, and she was very disingenuous about the whole context of the conversation? You know, that's what got me. I was like, wow, she really is up there doing it. She is really misrepresenting the whole context of the conversation. She's manipulating this lady. She's being disingenuous about why she said what she said. I was like, wow, this is what we doing. Okay, girl. It's your prerogative. But like I said, you weak sauce because home girl, even though I come up here initially, you still could have dropped that link, boo. You still could have dropped it. But you didn't drop it because you know I was gonna call you on what you was doing up there. And it didn't make no sense. But I'm glad you didn't. So I can come over here and react to it without being interrupted. Because another thing that you like to do is talk over people and talk real loud because you don't like to hear the truth. You don't like to hear the truth spoken about your ratchetness. You simply do not. But thanks for letting us know that your mama was a drug addict, because now we know why you move. Now I know why you move the way that you move. Now I know why you so manipulative. Now I know why you were projecting when you had that, when you said what you said about that little girl. Now I know everything when you start calling kids are not innocent. Little girls are fast, and this, that, and the other. Kids, a little girl might do something to another child, or in particular a little boy in school, and blah blah this and blah blah that, because that's your projecting. That is you telling your own story, and you know it. But thanks for putting that little piece right there, because I had already suspected it, anyway. But the fact that you admitted that little bit right there, that spoke volumes to me. It really did. Free as the wind said, any person that tell you who they are, pay attention. Absolutely. I was doing it after her. She called herself manipulative. Absolutely. I know what she was all about then too. She full of crap. Okay. Faith said she is manipulating the entire situations. That's why she ran. So you're absolutely right about that, Faith. She went over there to manipulate the situation in order to try and attempt to save face. I absolutely agree with you. And that is what she attempted to do tonight. Okay? It's the thing is weird. I'm like, girl. Her comment made me want to be exact. I made a lot of people want to beat her up. Sure did. She's exactly who those men talk about every day. You're absolutely right, Aries. And make it so bad she don't even realize how foolish that she sounds, how foolish that she acts. And from what some of you guys have been saying, um, even some of those Manosphere got, well, none of them respect her because they don't respect women in general. But according to some of you guys, even they have talked mess about her. I mean, because she's really just quite a disgusting representation of a female. She doesn't have any female energy at all, because she has built up such a wall of protection, that because she probably had it really, really hard as a child, um, because she's built that wall up to the point to where she's very disgusting and very gross, like a predatory male. She's built herself, she's turned herself into the very type of male that probably preyed on her when she was with her drug addicted mother. That's what she's turned into. She's turned into her abuser. And many men, we know that many men, when they have been in abusive situations, they oftentimes turn into their abusers, right? They go on to abuse, right? And so that's what she's done. That's really what she's done. It's really what she's become. And that's just how I feel about it. It's just really gross. Like, girl, you ought to be shaming yourself. But when you got up there and did what you did tonight, child, oh my God. Oh my God. And the fact that some of the people were down in the chat, uplifting her and agreeing with her and signing with her and Rue Dip, you have no more redeeming qualities in my mind. You are disgusting, and shame on you for agreeing with her in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Right? Right? She is luckiest online. I agree with that. You down there twerking in the chat, right, Aries Queen tonight said everything. He told me everything I needed to know, child. She wants so badly for the conversation to die down. She wants so badly for um, people to kind of reimagine what it is that she said. She wants so badly for them to be on her side for the things that came out of her own mouth. Nobody pulled that out of her. She wasn't responding to something somebody said. She actually brought the subject up. Nobody put a gun to her head and forced her to bring up, the conversation about the 10-year-old little girl. Nobody. That came out of the blue. All in an effort to change the conversation because she was embarrassed, like I said, about why her husband was in Bomb Cherry's chat. You went to the lowest common denominator in order to deflect away from that one subject right there. You are deplorable. And I was right about you. You are horrible. You and your little man. I heard half truths on the panel. Right. That's what I meant by she was disingenuous. She was very much so disingenuous. Talking slow, spinning webs, setting traps, being overall manipulative. That is horrible. Like you have a horrible countenance about yourself, lady. Like you really do. Or women that will pull up and beat her. Right, right. You are speaking the truth right now. Well, thank you, just saying. But yeah, that you have a horrible disposition about yourself. Like, and instead of you, just what you need to do is you need to pay that lady for more than what she did tonight. You really need to go into some counseling sessions with well, not even that lady, because that type of counselor is not the type of counselor that you need. You need somebody that's really strong enough to weed through your manipulations. That's what you need. You need somebody that's been in the business longer than 2 years. That's what you need. Because what you did tonight, and how you played that lady, I was like, child, this lady is not even ready. But okay, girl. Oh my God, sorry, Miss O. But I just saw. Oh, did you really? Yeah, I heard that situation was going on. Uh huh. I heard it was going on. Uh-huh. I feel like she wants to play Vic. She really do. She really did want to play victim to her audience tonight. Yes, she did. She said she felt like did she say she felt like she was bullied or beat up on or ganged up on or something like that. And she felt like that. That was her wanting to play victim. But you can't play victim because you are the villain. If you would not have said that out of your mouth, you wouldn't be going through this right now. Like nobody made you say that. You brought up the subject, really. Really, if y'all are being honest about face video, the subject of that type of childhood trauma never had to come up. She brought it up. What did that type of childhood trauma have to do with what was going on with her, Bomb Cherry, and her husband? Nothing at all. It had nothing to do with nothing. She caused all of this on, she brought all of this on herself, actually. I'm losing my voice, y'all. But yeah, she brought all of this on herself. It wasn't even necessary, you know. And so, yeah, you see how she chewed me out when I said she was, yes, 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 yes. Right, Faith now face it now she knows how I feel. I absolutely agree. She's horrible. But she wanna play the victim. But she's not the victim in this scenario. She's the villain. Because she the one started it. And she wants it to be over. But guess what, George? You don't get to pick and choose when you want something to be over with. Just because you don't want to talk about it anymore, don't mean people are not going to talk about it anymore. You don't get to do that. You don't have that type of control. And I bet you can't stand that either. She kept saying the conversation she had with the panel on Face was volatile. excuse me, the reason why it became volatile and very hostile is because she made that comment that she made about a 10-year-old little girl. That's why it became volatile and hostile. Up until then, she was the only one that was volatile and hostile because she was triggered by what was being said concerning her and her husband and Bomb Cherry. So she decided to spin off on this whole disgusting conversation in order to cover for that. But girl, you should have stayed on the fact that you was embarrassed by what your man did in Bomb Church. You should have been stayed on the fact that you should have been mad and dwelled on the fact that your husband embarrassed you online in this sector where both of y'all be twerking around by being in Bomb Cherry's DMs. But instead, you had to change the whole conversation. Now, mind you, ain't nobody forgot about you getting embarrassed by your own husband and y'all been married about what, a year, almost a year. But it's just the fact that you try to sidetrack it with such a horrific conversation. That means you are deplorable, homegirl. Girl. Oh, gosh, I said reality-based therapist who specializes in personalities disorders, especially borderline and narcissistic. Is that what she said? Is that what she called herself? A reality-based specialist? I've never heard of that before. Is that what she called herself? She's entitled to her opinion. Absolutely, she's absolutely entitled to her opinion. Just like everybody else is entitled to their opinion. She says she's entitled to her opinion, but people can't react. Right. People are going to react. You know, people are reacting. And now she's being, but I'm glad I'm not the only one that heard her say, she was being bullied. Because girl, you are not being bullied. You are the bull, honey. You are the big bull in a china shop, just bumping around and breaking all the glass and all the china and all the crystal. Every time you open your mouth, every time you be defensive because you got embarrassed, you make it worse. You are the bull in the title. You are the bull in the word bullied. Okay? Except you like to bully from your comfort zone. And when you bully, you like to do it in your own home, so to speak, right? Because when you jump on these panels, you're gonna have to stand and they're going to call you to task. That's the reason why you didn't jump back up on the Tories today when you kept saying, well, she dropped me down. She dropped you down. No, she put you in the back and you lied on the girl and tried to make it seem like she didn't want you up her. But in all actuality, your feet was being held to the fire and you got tired of being burned. So when she did drop you to the back, that was your escape route. That was the perfect segue for you to leave the panel and then turn around and lie about it because you was a punk. You were a runner in a track star. Period. Okay? Girl. How can a therapist be remiss of language that can cause harm or incite harm? Yeah, Saida, I didn't understand. Like that's the only thing I could figure was, she didn't want to upset George, maybe because George had paid her. But even, that's disingenuous too when it came to that lady. That's another reason why I want to hit the link to talk to the therapist because I'm like, you're not doing a really good job. I'm understanding that you're not wanting to be confrontational and you don't have to be, because you are the professional, supposed to be the professional in the situation, but you simply are not asking any type of question that's relevant. You ought to have enough common sense. You ought to have enough understanding and knowledge, right? You ought to have enough education under your belt to know that you are being manipulated. Now, she did hint to it a couple of times, like when she said that she didn't understand. She wanted to, here had a whole, conflict got started. She did say that, but I'm just not feeling it, And so, yeah, I agree with you, Said. She got a whole team of Manosphere niggas, but she being jumped. Exactly, right? Sis says she ain't drop her. Exactly. She put her to the back, and then she tried to say Tori dropped her, which that was a lie. Hey, Sister Noble. Sister Noble said, she gonna have her. Hold on. The thing went up too fast. Hold on. Sister Noble said, she gonna have to get tough when it comes to her husband because black men will embarrass you if you allow them to. But absolutely, and that's what he's done, and that's what he's doing. But that's what she get, because she playing a whole role. Sister Noble, I agree with you. Kasha says she, the George woman, would with better a MH profession, MH medical health, I guess medical health, mental health professional, as the one I described to assist with her through her trauma. Mother Troy said, I don't think that lady was a therapist, not even a school counselor. It didn't seem like it, did it? I'm thinking, okay, but that's what she said, girl. That's what she said. It didn't seem like it to me either, mother. But all right, to each his own. She just kept saying she didn't drop her. Absolutely. Yeah, Atari didn't drop her. She put her in the bag and she left herself because she got tired of her feet bent. She couldn't take it no more. She left on her own and started twerking around in the chat. That's what George did. That was her. Oh, that was her cousin. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, child. You calling her George? You a mess, mother. Not the passive woman. You all are describing this woman to be not the passive woman. Not the passive woman. I don't understand what you're saying, Kashan. Not the passive woman. Are you talking about the counselor? She needs somebody stronger. And I can agree with that if that's what you're talking about. Absolutely. Absolutely. But like I just really want to, react to all of the disingenuous and all the fakeness and all the just deplorable. I mean, like, George, girl, you go from bad to worse. You keep making yourself look worse and worse when it comes to this subject, girl. Shame on you. You the one brought it up. Don't start it if you can't finish it, love. Okay, be real about your stuff. You're supposed to be batty, ratty. Then you say you was a shooter. Well, girl, what you shooting? Blanks? Cause I can't tell. Oh, child. Let me see who this is. Hold on. Comment. Who? This got to be a troll. But hold on. Let's play. Let me put up my border. Cause you can't pour 'em by me, love. Let's see, y'all. Hold on. Hello?
Hey, what's going on? No, I'm not a troll. What's going on, Miss Olivia?
All right, how you doing?
I'm good. So I'm commendable K, and so I'm against the Manosphere and the fact that George is their attack dog is the reason why I've made videos about her, and I'm speaking on
Oh,
this right now. I don't know if
okay.
you were at a stopping point or whatever. I just wanted to kind of say a few things
No,
whenever you get
no,
a
go
chance.
no. Go ahead. I've
So
never heard of you before, so welcome.
yeah,
But
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I'm small time. I'm small time. So the first thing I point out is the fact that Sister George, the video that she was gonna have you and other women come on, she called it bald headed hoe shit. That shows
Mm,
you right there exactly what she feels about people.
uh-huh.
Because
I
you
do.
see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
Sister George basically was calling the women in the video, Faith's video. She called Faith, other women in the video, yourself, and really the women on the chat on her panel, bald headed hoes. That's disrespectful
Absolutely.
as fuck. And
Yep.
she's changed the thumbnail once I called her out on my community tab. And another thing I want to point out
Understood.
is Mr. George. So she's never truly gone against the manosphere. I want to go ahead and clear this up. So when the
Mm,
manosphere has had a civil war and a man goes against one of their leaders, like Ramil, Amir, or BGS, or whoever the leaders are, uh, Danny will go against whoever is opposing the leader to convince the leaders, like Ramil, that she's cool. Then, when she comes back and tells you all that she's gone against the manosphere, she really has not.
mm,
In the video that I played on my channel, the mashup that I did, I showed that the first stream that they did on the breakdown was her and Concrete Rose's talk of their plan on how they were going to infiltrate the manosphere by setting up, ruining, and trashing black women to do so. And they've done it ever since, and that's the reason why they're on top. They're never
I
going to be sisterhood. They're never going to be sisterhood. And that's the reason why she calls herself sacrificing herself. And she brought up the 10-year-old girl sucking dick on the back of the bus and little boys being abused to serve the Kevin Samuels Defense Force and move attention away from her support of Kevin Samuels and what Faith had asked about her. This whole
Yeah.
time, she's all she's been is just a trap. And just
Mm-hmm.
the fact that she's, just kind of mirror echoing what Manosphere said about her when Sister George or Mr. George said that she runs with women of the night, which are hookers. The only people who prostitutes will hang around is other prostitutes.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And
that's
tonight she said that her mother, she used to she was raised by her grandmother and her mother because her mother was on drugs. And so that also validates in my mind what you just said because I was thinking the
mm-hmm,
same thing.
mm-hmm,
I'm sorry, go
mm-hmm.
ahead.
And I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, so Curlin basically married a prostitute. In the
Yep, pretty much.
Manosphere, the reason why they have her around and tolerate her is because she's attacking you all, and they know that
Yep.
she's like a Trojan horse. So
Yep.
anytime they get mad at one of y'all for saying something, they'll send Sister George to come on your panel. She'll be talking all slow,
Mhm.
pronouncing her words, sounding all
Mhm.
articulate to let your guard
Mhm.
down. And all it is just to trick you all. So I guess like the latest target was uh, Sweet Life of Atari.
Yes,
So wherever
yes,
Sister George
absolutely.
goes, yeah. So that's the reason why when you all came up on the panel earlier, Sister George was kind of, you could tell by her voice that she wasn't expecting you all to come up there like that. And then once
Mhm.
you all started catching her in her lies, because Sweet Life of Atari, she's cool, she makes great videos, but she's not, no disrespect to her, but her interview skills is not as strong as like you, Faith, Womansphere. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So Sister George can like run game and can manipulate because Sweet Life of
Mhm.
Atari, she's still kind of like a beginner when it comes to panel work. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
no disrespect to her, it's just that
Mhm.
some Sister
Yeah, she's
George, we
very
all know,
she's sweet for real. She's sweet for real, and somebody like George, they think they can run over Atari. That's why she don't mind jumping on Atari's panel, like that
right?
because she thinks she can bulldoze over her because she really does try to be a bully. And because if you
Mm-hmm.
was know, she was up there with me at first, and I've got a phone call. But when excuse me, by the time I came back, she refused to jump back on the panel, and I called her weak because you are weak. Do you see what I'm saying? If you can't come back up there, and continue to be called out, you are weak. Like you are not strong at all. On her interview tonight, I initially wouldn't go over there because I knew it was a whole setup. But after she's talking to the
Mm-hmm.
counselor, I asked her to drop the link. But no, I'm not gonna drop the link. You know why? Because you weak. That's the reason
And
why.
you want to
You
know
are
what?
weak and you insecure. You don't have all that bravado, honey. Not really. You
Mm-hmm.
are your little man. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, the reason why she didn't want to drop the link for you is because so Sister George, she did what's known as poisoning the well. So what she did
Yeah.
was she started off playing the middle of Faith's video, the Faith Factor. She started
Mm-hmm.
playing the middle of the video after the argument already started, and she went back and played the beginning. See, by her doing that, it already taints the objectiveness of her friend that she brought on. Because you know what I'm saying? Like you seeing the argument, and that's what's
Mm-hmm.
gonna stand out. Because we all like this, drama, we all like arguing and stuff. That's what's gonna
Mm-hmm.
stand out. Because like you
Right.
said, the whole stream was boring
Uh-huh.
except for the fighting. So you introduce the fighting, play the rest of it, and then when Mr. George played the beginning, now you already tainted. You're not really going to be objective as far as how things progressed on. That's the reason why she didn't want you to come up there to call out her bullshit. Plus, she was placating to her audience, which is the
Mhm.
manosphere.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The whole thing, in my opinion, was disingenuous and it was disgusting. The way that she tried to spin that web of deceit, the way that she did manipulate that lady when it came to the whole conversation, and the fact that
Mm-hmm.
she couldn't be genuine about it speaks volumes to me. She should have just said nothing at all. But I feel like, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like the only reason why she did this tonight is because she wanted to spin the narrative that she is the victim in the situation when actually she's the perpetrator because she's the
Right.
one that brought up the scenario about the little girl on the back of the bus. That didn't even have anything to do with the fact that they were talking about her bomb and her husband. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Right.
that's the way I feel about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr.
She
George, she's only
started.
do. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying she started it.
Yeah, Mr. George. The only reason why she's doing these panel tours is to get women to lower their guard and come on her channel so she can set them up and make abuse a joke. Because right
Uh,
now, a lot of people in her ilk, they've ran out of content because today was Kevin Samuel's funeral, and because he's no longer going to be making content, they have nobody to eat off of. So they're desperate. They're looking for people who are new, who don't know any better, to set up so they can kind of rinse and repeat and recycle the same nonsense that they've been doing. Sister George is just as bad as the Manosphere, but she's
mhm.
really worse now that I think
Yeah,
about it, because women are going to see a woman and the fact
yeah,
that she's married, the fact that
uh-huh,
she talks articulate, the fact that
yeah,
she says she's balanced. They're going to see her and they're going to be like, okay, I can trust her because in her name, she calls herself sister. But
right,
really it should be Mister, because she hulks
yeah,
up all the time. But I
uh-huh.
don't want to go there.
That's the
She
truth. That's
hulks
why
up
I
all the
just call her.
time.
That's why I call her George. I just call her George. That's why I call her
Yeah,
George, because she a whole nigga. That's what she is.
right,
Her and her
and she's
husband,
in the
they in a whole homosexual relationship. Okay,
see. You know what? I'm glad you said that, because I've been said that she's a transformer. I've
huh?
been said she's a transformer. I mean, the way she hulks up, the way her voice gets deep. Her voice is deeper than mine. The way her voice
Yeah,
gets deep, how she gets masculine, the testosterone be pumping. I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised if the reason why Curlin got with her is because
huh?
the manosphere is really get a manosphere, because
Yes, it is.
they want
You better
they
say
talk about
that.
getting the brown they talk about getting the brown stain, and the last manosphere meetup, Obsidian had his butt in the air because it was sore. So them dudes, all they reason why they hate women is because all they want is men,
I
right?
swear.
No girls allowed.
Mhm.
So
That's the reason why
I
they
think
lifted up. That's the reason why they lifted up Kevin Samuels the way that he did. That they did.
right,
They all wanted to hum on Kevin Samuels' balls, in my opinion.
right, right. They all wanted to be in his bed. And
Hmm.
so Mr. George knew that if he dressed up like a woman, the manosphere would kind of accept him, because a lot of them are simps over there. They want to they all want women, they're incels and whatnot. But then she knew that if they knew that she was really a he, or acted like a he, they would like him even more, because it's get a manosphere. That's the reason
Uh-huh.
why they only want to have panels with nothing but men. The man meetup, the
Right.
manosphere, the get a manosphere meetup. That's the reason why they're all in one room, sleeping
Mhm.
together and stuff. I mean, that's really what the whole game plan was. And Kevin Samuels, which just brought it out.
Uh-huh. I absolutely agree with you. Men going their own way. What kind of heterosexual male, in his right mind, only wants just him and the boys to go their own way forever? You would. I have heard conversations, and I don't know. I'm sure you heard these videos when they even talk about stuff like semen retention and all of this and all of that. I just it just baffles me. The whole homosexual undertone when it comes to the
Mm-hmm.
manosphere. It's just why, and for people not to realize what's really going on, especially after especially the popularity of Kevin Samuels, is beyond me. I'm like, wow, okay. Even to the point to
Yeah,
where the guys were getting tattoos of him on their bodies. I'm like, wow, this what y'all doing? Okay, all
yeah,
right,
exactly. The semen retention is to retain it and keep it away from women and put it inside
right.
themselves. I mean, they literally call themselves, like, one dude is David Johnson in the asshole, and then he
Mm-hmm.
changed it to the and then he changed his name. I mean, that's what it is, though. That's what it is. I mean, if I'm lying, I'm flying. That's the reason why they choose to only want to argue with women. They only want to talk to women and berate them and put them down. What's your dress size, how old you are. It doesn't matter what your answer is. They're always going to put you down, because the only thing they respect is men. That's why they're
Uh-huh.
focused on the rights of little boys and men, because
Yeah,
they basically want to. They're pushing an LGBTQ agenda. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there's a movement. It's a pedophile movement, and
yeah.
they did a
Novel.
TED talk on it. Right, right.
Uh-huh.
So it's where like a dude can be 50 and his
Uh-huh.
age is fluid. So he can be like,
Yes.
well, I feel like I'm 21, so I can
Yes.
be with an 18-year-old. Or he'll say, I feel like I'm 16, so I can be with a 16-year-old or younger, and it's
Uh-huh.
cool. That's
Yeah.
what the manosphere is going to. It's just that Kevin passed away before they could really get there. That's what this
Yeah.
whole thing is. It's just pushing that narrative. And
Yeah.
like, I know you used to be a sexual assault investigator. I was one too. When I was in the army, I know you was one as well. And that's, these different guys who are using this predatory language. The reason they're
Mm-hmm.
open and honest and free with the language as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to decades ago is because they're using the internet to form these rings, these
Yes.
pedophile rings, these predator
Yeah.
rings. And
Yes.
the language they use is like what Rude Imp was saying. So a lot of people are
Yeah.
surprised about it, but they got to understand that the reason why they're so confident, and open with it is because they're using it as somewhat of like a dog whistle to other
Mm.
predators
Mm.
to let them
Exactly.
know, hey, I'm about this. You can come here. We can exchange information and
Mhm.
exchange resources. Those
Yeah.
resources being what kids are good to mess with in different places. So
Yeah.
the
And
main
like
reason
when they
why they're
talking about, like when they talk about going to where's it they Brazil or wherever it is, they always talk about
right,
going to, and they're really going over there to sleep with underage prostitutes. Is what they're doing.
facts, facts,
But they see they neglect to say that just like there are female underage prostitutes over there are also a lot of male underage prostitutes. Human trafficking and human sex trafficking is pretty much a large part of the economy over there, and so that's why they
right.
can travel back and forth so freely and do that not only over there but in other countries as well.
Mm-hmm.
They'll
Mm-hmm.
allow that sort of thing. And it's just really weird. But like you said, they're using dog whistles, especially when they're talking about age fluidity. And that is what Nambla they are pushing that agenda. And when they're and I think it's really creepy, you know, when they go to talking about the age of consent when it comes to little girls, because they use that as sort of a cover as well, because they know young women are very gullible. They don't understand what's really going on. They don't require anything from a grown man because they are the authority figure, and they know how to manipulate these little girls and stuff. And for them to be, always obsessing over that right there speaks volumes to me as well.
Facts, facts. And what we got to do is we got to keep shining a light on it and exposing it. And
Absolutely.
we need to see not only who's using the predatory language, but the people who are sympathizers and passive
Hmm.
to it, because we
Like
got to
like
separate
George.
ourselves.
Yeah, like
Right,
George. George is a whole
like
weirdo.
George, exactly, exactly,
George is a
because
whole
she's passive to it.
weirdo. Yeah, and and it's scary to think that she is anywhere around children. That is very scary to me, and I'm being serious
Hmm.
about it. It's very. I just it's unsettling to me. It just don't sit well with me. The way that she speaks so derogatory about children. I mean, she's some kind of a child abuser.
Yeah, a
And people really
facilitator.
need to. Yeah, absolutely a facilitator, and possibly a participator. Because see, we don't know really what her and Curlin, I believe that's the name of her husband, got going on in the background. It's just real
Right.
creepy to me. It's real creepy. I just the whole vibe is off for me, and I wouldn't
Hmm.
trust her. I wouldn't trust her as far as I can see her, especially when it comes to children. Because for you to, have something like that on your brain in the heat of an argument, and then use that type of language to deflect away from something that your husband did, and Bomb was able to prove he was in her DMs. That is beyond me. I mean, like, why go to a child? Why, of all things, all the things that you could have said, in the whole world, all the examples that you could have used in the whole world, why would you choose the story about a 10-year-old child on the back of a bus? Why would you use that? Why would that pop into your head? That is what's scary to me.
Oh, it's because see, people who are, I mean, you already know about this, but I'm gonna say it though. People who are broken,
Mm.
they view themselves as normal, and
Yeah.
they view women who are whole, healthy as the enemy, because
Yes, I
the
do.
broken women are gonna constantly feel judged. I'm not victim shaming. It's just this is how it is.
Uh-huh.
People who are broken, both men and women, they'll view people who are whole and healthy as the enemy because they feel like they're constantly being judged.
Yeah,
And
that's why she's
so
so defensive. Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah.
reason why she mentioned the young girl saying that the children lie, and she was really adamant about saying the children lie because she
Mhm.
was trying to convince you all and herself that because children lie, it's okay that they're abused. See, that's the same
Exactly.
argument. That's the same argument Takashi 69 and
Mm,
Tasha K used in court
mm,
by saying
mm,
what I did was messed up. So Sister George is saying, or Mr. George is saying, what I have said is messed up. And my support of Kevin Samuels, who openly is trying to convince a woman to let me look and touch her underage daughter, that's horrible. But because children are lying, it's
mm.
okay that we're taking advantage of them. That's what that whistle is.
I absolutely agree. And then, oh, you touched on something real good, and Lord, it went right out of my head. But because she was or is still such a Kevin Samuel supporter, do you really believe her when she says she's never seen that video of clip of him telling that woman not to believe her daughter? Because I don't believe
She's
that.
seen it. Yeah, she's seen it. She believes it. Because think about it. The people in the manosphere, all they do is watch Kevin Samuels. He's their personal Lord and Savior. So why would this one Instagram live stream out of all of them that you all see and talk about and respond to and make money off of, why wouldn't she see that one? No, she's seen it. She agrees with it. She just knows that we haven't been conditioned to accept that. See, the
Yeah.
woman in the video, 2 more streams, she would have been like, "Yes, you can look at and touch my daughter. I'm going to believe my husband over my daughter." She was 2 videos away from being like that. So, but the rest of the people like myself and you and other people in YouTube, because we're not conditioned for that, she knows that we have not been programmed. So she knows it's socially unacceptable for what Kevin Samuels was promoting. But if let's say like 5 years from now, she probably will be like, "Yeah, I've seen the clip, and age is fluid." And because in the Bible days, like they said on Bernard Riley's panel a while back, I put it on my community tab where they were debating the age of consent. Back in the Bible days, men used to get with young girls after the first period, sometimes a little bit before, to have the period come on sooner than it's supposed to, because they used to do that back in the day. And those were traditional women, and those traditional women are better than modern women. We need to go back to that. That's where
Oh,
it's going to be in, like, let's say 2 or 3, maybe 5 years. So because we're
the,
not ready for that type of conversation, and we want to protect children, she knows that we're not going to accept what Kevin Samuels is saying. But Kevin Samuels wasn't talking to you and I. Kevin Samuels was talking to his disciples, to his
yeah,
supporters, people who are
yeah,
already girl lovers, boy
yeah,
lovers,
yeah.
having those symbols on their clothes. The
Uh-huh.
predators that are already having rings and communities and different type of systems in place, he was talking to them.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. He was talking to his sympathizers. You're absolutely right. I absolutely agree with you. But it just tripped me out. It just it was another form of manipulation. And then she does. I agree also that she does wholeheartedly agree with what he said in that video, because she admitted that she said, if a child says something to her like that, first she said she would have to investigate what the child said, because she knows that children are liars, and children this, that, and the other. And then she turned around and caught herself, and she said, well, if somebody was to do that to one of my children, I would A, B, C, or D. So now you're trying to walk it back, and she tried to walk it back for exactly the reason that you just said. Hey, Sonny,
How you doing, Olivia? Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, Normally, I don't really do panels anymore, but what I saw tonight was horrible. It really just shook me. It took
Yeah.
me for a minute because I was in the live stream. I saw those last four panels, and I have to speak on it because these men, they have things a little bit wrong. They're coming at the sisterhood when the sisterhood did not do this.
Right.
She did this to herself. She
Right.
really did. She
Yes, you did.
tried to deflect, and I
Mhm.
saw it in her video tonight, her little live stream
Mhm.
tonight when I was over there. I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, she's not playing the whole thing. It wasn't about little boys, it wasn't
Mm-mm.
about little girls. It was about what the first part of it was about her trying to shame people,
Right.
unmarried women, for not being married and
Mhm.
throwing that around and really talking down, talking condescending to other women. Oh,
Mm.
well, you all are married, so you really can't speak on this. And until you're married and blah, blah, blah. It was all about the marriage. Second part of it was all about that husband of hers being in Bomb Cherry's DMs. He
Mhm.
was there and she wanted to deflect off that whole conversation. So she turned that into the little girls are sucking D's.
Mm.
And people like, what are you talking about? And then tonight with that woman, that innocent woman that didn't know
Yeah.
exactly what was going on because
Yeah.
she started from the middle. She
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
start from the beginning of
Yeah.
the subject of what was at hand. And the
Yeah.
woman was even asking her, why is everybody talking about your marriage? Why
Mhm.
aren't they talking about the girl sucking D? Why
Mhm.
are they talking about your marriage? She
Mhm.
even told me when I was in the chat, and I said, look, you're not telling the whole story. This is a
Mhm.
half truth. It's not true what you're saying. She even
Yep.
told me, well, I don't want to talk about that. That's some stupid shit, is what
Mhm.
she said. It's just some stupid stuff. When really it's not. This is what you were speaking.
Right.
This is what
Right.
everybody was speaking on.
Right.
And to make it as though
Sonny,
woman,
hold on for a minute. Thanks, Reaction Satisfaction for joining the panel. You could have stayed back up, but thanks for the super chat. Thank you.
Oh, I'm still
For,
here. I'm
okay.
listening. I'm still
Oh,
here. Sorry about
okay.
that.
I got the thing up right there. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, thanks for the super chat, love. I appreciate you.
but
And so yeah, go
out,
ahead, Sonny.
she's making it out like woman's fear, the woman's fear, like Olivia and like the other girl that was in the chat. She's making it out like everyone wasn't speaking, that they were not speaking on boys. They were just concerned with girls when
Right.
that wasn't the conversation. You're
Right.
turning it around into something totally different, and that part of it was a dog whistle for
Yeah.
those men to come out and defend her and to come
That's
out
what
and
I'm
try to
doing.
talk against the sisterhood. It had nothing to do with the sisterhood and that aspect. That woman is not really nice. She's not a nice lady.
No, she's very bitter. I agree, but you're right about the dog whistle thing because she is the one that specifically brought up the little girl. But it, common sense. I mean, that's manipulative for her to insert and double down. Well, little boys get abused too. Well, we know that we are not stupid. You are injecting and you're weaponizing the fact that we didn't speak on little boys, but the thing is, the manipulation is you the one brought up the fact of the little girl. You didn't say a little girl and a little boy. You say a little girl. So everybody was responding to what
Into
she said
yes,
about a little
yes,
girl. And then she said, well, little boys get done. Well, duh,
yep, yep. It's
abuse is
true.
abuse. That
And
type of childhood trauma goes both ways. But specifically, you said something about a little girl, and that's what people was calling you on. That was the manipulation part of it. She wanted to change the narrative.
and then she's constantly pushing, well, everybody should get married, and I encourage everybody to get married. You need the protection and such and such, instead of speaking on the fact that these days, nowadays, husbands are committing crimes against those wives. So marriage is a good thing, but on the other hand, it may not be for everyone.
That's true, but she's using it. What she does is she weaponizes. She has weaponized the whole conversation when it comes to marriage. She's weaponized her own YouTube marriage, her own clout chase marriage. She's
Hmm.
simply using that ring as a weapon, as to beat over the top of the head of some women that may want to be married. She's using that to shame some women
Yes,
because they're single, whether they want to be single or not. She's still using it to verbally abuse, if you will, be very abusive to women because she's so male identified,
yes.
because of her childhood trauma.
And she age shames a lot. She age shame.
Well,
Your
I don't
old
even know why
ass
she
is
does it because she
old.
acts like she's 20 something years old. She is in her 40s.
Yes.
What
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
what
trying to
what what,
tell her.
what happened to her as a child? Y'all said her childhood trauma. What happened to her?
Well, I feel like I had said, earlier on that I felt like she was projecting, but tonight, I don't know if you heard it, sister, heard her thing tonight, but she said that she was raised by her mom and her grandmom, mostly because her mom was on drugs or something like that. So when she said that her mom was on drugs, so that ain't no telling what happened to her, what
Yeah, I love
childhood
the chat.
trauma she
I
done
love
had
it.
to
So I don't
endure
know.
because her mom
Mhm.
was on drugs.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay, the
she was
crack
producing.
epidemic of the 80s. Okay, yeah. That
Yeah,
explains it. That
yeah.
explains it.
Her
But
mom may have even sold her for
man,
drugs for all we know.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking about something, and did you all say she doubled down on the narrative about the little girl on the back of the school bus sucking somebody dick? Did y'all say she doubled down on that?
What when she was on Face Factor video? Yeah, yes, she did.
And
Wow.
Because
it's
she
So
tried
right.
to walk it.
so
She
Was
tried.
my
she?
question is to her, is it my fault that somebody put his dick in my mouth when I was 5 years old? Is
No,
that my fault too?
it's not your fault, and
Exactly.
it's not even her fault. Well,
Hmm.
for what may have happened to her as a child either.
Exactly.
But it's
Exactly.
just the fact that she's well identified to the point that we know that when it comes to that type of trauma in men, if they don't get help, some not all, but some of them go on to become the abusers themselves, and she's
Yes.
well identified to the point that she's become an abuser herself.
Okay. Okay.
That is why
Mhm.
another reason why she went to that type of conversation when she was over there on Face trying to deflect away from the fact that they were talking about her marriage. That's why she
Okay.
went there. That's another reason why she went there. Do you agree or disagree? Reaction?
Well,
Is he
I
still?
know that. Yeah, yeah, I'm here. So what she does is, so I agree that she wants people to be abused, and she
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
views women and girls who are whole and healthy as the enemy. She'll
Mm-hmm.
wow.
say that she's against abuse, and she'll say a bunch of things. Then she'll throw that but out there. But,
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So when it comes
Yes.
to
Yes.
but, anything before the but is negated. So she'll say, well, I'm against little girls being abused, but
Mm-hmm.
they do
But
lie. Or
Oh
right.
she'll
my
say,
God.
I am all for women coming together and talking about what bother us, but our nature makes it to where we mainly lie. See, she'll throw that
Mm.
butt out there
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Hmm.
kind of give that dog whistle to the manosphere, just
Yeah.
Yes.
like she's weaponizing her marriage to give
Yes.
the okay for men in the manosphere to
Mhm.
also weaponize her marriage against other women. See,
Okay.
it's one
Right.
big play to basically have to facilitate a predatory environment using her channel and using
Yeah.
it
Okay.
as an
All right.
example to other women who want these men like the Manosphere men or like Mista and the Color Purple. She's using her
Mm-hmm.
channel, her rhetoric, her content as a blueprint on
Mm-hmm.
how we can set up and form predatory rings to not
Okay.
only make money but to attack whole,
Oh,
healthy, happy women and girls.
Mm-hmm.
She's
oh
no
And
my
better
I
than
agree
God.
with you.
the I don't know if you all saw the Paris Maman video. It's not important if you all didn't, but there was a woman who came out and said that her mother's boyfriend abused her, and she's an adult now. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mr. George
And
is no better than the
the
mom.
mama was blaming the daughter. Uh-huh.
Mr.
And
George
the
is no
way
different than the
you
mother
know,
that that almost encourages
Uh-huh.
men to be predatory to their daughters,
Uh-huh.
Mm.
and
Uh-huh.
that's that's
and the
Yeah,
that's the
way she
problem.
absolutely.
Like,
said, when she said the
I agree.
10-year-old girl sucking D on the bus, the way she said it, you could feel the hatred there.
Oh
You
my
could
God.
feel that something was wrong there.
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
feel it.
And
When
she
you
separates
respond.
herself from women. You know, she's like I said, she male identified to the point to where she doesn't even, in my opinion, see herself as a woman, because when she speaks to women, like she was over there on Atari's today, and when she speaks about women, she say y'all, and when she's saying y'all, that is her separating her, her being a woman from
Mhm,
us women. Do you see what I'm saying? 'Cause she
mhm.
don't say
Okay,
stuff like
okay.
us. She say y'all do this and y'all do that. That is her
Mhm.
identifying
So
as
she
a
thinks
male.
she's better than other women or something? Does she think she's better than other women
She
on
That's
doesn't
this
even
what she
platform?
identify
wanted to
as a
walk away
woman.
Oh,
with.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's what the first lady that did that first panel with her, I can't remember her name, but that's what she was speaking on. That's what she was getting at. Like, why do you think that you're above the rest of the women?
Uh-huh.
That's exactly what she was trying to hit on.
Right, right,
I'm just
right,
trying to understand, like, oh my God.
right. Yeah, she is horrible. She real twisted in the head. But like I said, she doesn't even see herself as she's male identified. She sees her, she has a very male, a masculine mindset. And that's why
Oh,
she separates herself when she says y'all. When she says y'all, she's talking about women, and she
okay.
separated herself from us women. That's why she says
Okay.
that. And I called her on it today on the Toys channel, and she was like, "Well, I'm from the South. I'm from the South too, honey. I'm from Tennessee. And when I say y'all, I'm talking about hey y'all, hey everybody, men and women. But when she says it in reference to women, that is her separating herself from other women.
Damn, I know somebody else like that.
And
Damn.
she also said that she was doing the live
I know
stream.
somebody else like that. Oh my goodness. I
Mhm.
just thought about somebody. I ain't gonna call a name out though.
She
I
said
ain't
she
gonna
was
call her
doing
name
the
out.
live stream so that she could take responsibility and accountability for what happened. And I'm thinking in my mind, okay, if you're taking responsibility and you want to be held accountable for what happened, where's the apology at? You're not saying that you're
Right.
sorry for
That's
hurting
just
this person
So
or hitting that
she
person.
blaming the little girl on the back of the school bus for her
yes,
She,
own
yes.
abuse. That's what y'all
she
saying.
never
She blaming
Yes,
the
apologized,
little
yes, that's
girl.
what I
not
asked her. I said,
once.
"Where?" I asked her, but I said, in the thing, but you still haven't apologized, and she's trying to make it seem like, well, I don't owe apology to you guys. I wasn't talking about apologizing to us adults, apologizing for the deplorable thing that you said in
About
general,
the little
and
girl.
yeah, about the little girl. Then
She's
she went on to
blaming.
say, and I feel like you owe me and my husband an apology. I was like, girl.
Oh my
What do
God. She's
you say?
blaming the victim of abuse. That's what
Man,
she's
she
doing.
would have said she did you hear what she said? She felt like she was being bullied. I'm thinking you the whole bull. What you mean? Yeah.
I just couldn't understand that one. This one
Oh my
tonight, I
God.
just because that poor woman that was up there was being totally misled.
Yes,
You're
she
being
was.
misled, but yet she's asking you to analyze what happened. How can you analyze what happened without knowing the whole story?
That's what I
Instead,
said
she
earlier.
started from the middle. And I'm
Yes,
like,
that's what I said
no.
earlier. That's what I said earlier. She don't understand the context of the conversation, nor does she understand the politics of the sector. She don't understand Sister George's platform. She don't understand that she's very male identified and she denigrates women. And the woman asked her at one point in time, "Why are they so worried about your marriage?" Well,
Yes,
they're
she
not
did.
necessarily worried about her marriage. Is that since she weaponizes that ring and that marriage in order to insult and try to denigrate and verbally abuse other
Single
women.
women. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
All
Then she
right.
turned around and turned. Oh, Sasha Boo is right. Sasha Boo says then she turned around and turned the little girl into a predator over boys.
Oh
That
my
is a great
God.
a point, Sasha, because you're right about that. Because when she said that sometimes the kids will go and and do that to other little kids, that is her turning the 10-year-old
And she
girl
said that the little girl would,
into a
would take
predator.
somebody in the back room and take them back
Right.
there and do something to them.
Right. And you're
Mm.
right, reaction satisfaction says she used a lot of programming language. You're absolutely right. She probably wanted her friend to validate her side. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Hey, JV. JV said it was disturbing. It was absolutely disturbing. It was worse tonight, almost worse tonight than it was when she initially said what she said,
Mm.
And
because
she
she had to think.
very,
She had time to think about it. She had
oh
time
yeah,
to seek this lady out and pay her to come on that panel out in order for that lady to manipulate her. I heard the lady say that she didn't even know that George had a channel, and that's why I said. And she started the comments of the video in the middle, of the conversation. The lady didn't know the context of the conversation. Like like I said, she don't know how Sister George move around here through these streets. The whole thing was manipulation. And then another thing that a narcissist would do, the narcissist thinks that it is smarter than everybody else
oh
around.
Yeah.
And so she think that her manipulations are really going to change people's mind about how
Mhm.
they feel about what she said, but that is just not true. You're not
Yeah.
smart. You're just really basic.
I saw her title earlier today. It was called Bald Headed Whole Shit
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
Reaction
was,
satisfaction said that was the
yeah.
title of the video. And
Okay.
I think he said she changed it or something like that. I'm not sure, but I think that's what he said. Because see,
Okay.
that's the reason why she had asked me to come up there initially, right? But I knew
Okay.
it was going to be a setup, and I didn't even see the title of the video. So if I would have come up there instead of the counselor, we just would have been doing bald headed hoe shit.
Yeah.
I would have been the bald headed hoe.
Mm.
And I heard Atari when she said, I guess she wrote it in a post or something, or said it on somebody's panel. Get your wine, get your popcorn. See, it would have been a whole altercation had I come up there, like she asked me to, because it was a whole
Okay.
setup. It would have been a whole
Okay.
conversation, a whole setup, a whole blow up. Do you see what I'm saying? That's it. You just would have been entertainment for it.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
well,
just
she threw
crazy.
the
It's
little
it's
girl out
disgusting.
there because Kevin Samuels, one of those videos, he was trying to convince some lady that she shouldn't believe her child if the child came and told her that it was being abused, that the child was being abused. So
Mhm.
Right.
Kevin Samuels was trying to say, you know, you shouldn't be so quick to believe your children.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
that's when she threw out the little girl scenario.
Yeah.
But in the end of when she was arguing with someone, she went into a rage and was saying that she'd kill someone
Yeah.
if they messed with her child, just
Yeah.
like anybody else would. Of
Yeah.
course, I'm going to believe my child. I'm going to
Right.
take my child to the doctor. And as
Mm.
soon as they say, yes, these things are true, then they'll be held to pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just don't go and just shoot people in the head because our child say that they're
Mm.
Well,
molested.
that was her trying to walk it back. That was her trying to walk it back.
We
It
as
doesn't make
women,
you
we
think she
check
can't.
things out. So she's trying to make it out like, oh, we just automatically believe our child and just call the police on people. And sure, we call the cops, but we check things out. We just
Well,
don't say,
I am always going to
but
believe the
yes, we're
victim
going to believe our
in the
child.
situation. I'm absolutely going to believe.
That's
But the
right.
fact that she said, she said at first before she said that, she said you have to investigate, the situation because kids lie. As I'm
Mhm.
not. She was really saying, I'm not gonna, believe my child at first when they first said.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have
Mm-mm.
to investigate first. I'm thinking, no, you backwards, honey. I'm going to
Okay.
believe my
My
child
child.
first.
That's right.
You know,
That's exactly why I'm about to
Saida
take you to
says
the
she has
doctor.
a son. Saida says she has a son, and Curlin has a daughter, and she
Mhm.
stated she is more protective over her son. I'm like, how does that work? You're right, Saida, because it's supposed to be a blended family, right? And because it's a blended family, she is now stepmom to his daughter. You know,
Mhm.
and so yeah, like you're still making a difference. The whole thing is just real cringe worthy. For her to
Mhm.
even say that is cringe worthy.
Yeah.
And
I
she
mean,
probably don't like the man's daughter simply because she female.
yeah.
Honestly.
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I think it's going to get far worse than what it is now when it comes to children being preyed on, children
Yeah,
being raped,
yeah,
children being molested, children being murdered. I think it's just going to get far worse than what it is now
yeah.
because
Because they're really pushing
they
that
already,
agenda.
yeah, they already trying to groom us online
Yeah,
to
they're
accept
trying to make it
pedophilia.
normalize it. Yeah, trying to
Exactly.
normalize it.
They're trying to normalize it. Like they're
Yeah,
trying to groom everybody to accept pedophilia. They want to make
yeah,
that a part of the LGBTQ plus
yes. Mm-hmm.
community.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
And
talked
I'm
about that
just like,
earlier. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm telling y'all, within the next 10 years, I would not be surprised if the word P is added on to the LGBTQ
Yeah, they
one
want
oh five.
that age
You know what I mean?
fluidity thing. They pushing that age
Exactly.
fluidity thing. We
Exactly.
talked about that when the reaction satisfaction came up. He
Yeah.
was speaking about that agenda as well. He gave it
Yeah.
5 years, but yeah, yeah, y'all are right, and like
I
he
mean,
said, the Manosphere is over there pushing all
yeah.
of that age fluidity as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just, we might have to go to war. I mean, if they pass a law, legalizing pedophilia in this
That's
country,
it. That's
we'll
it.
probably go to war at that point. But
Yeah,
This is what I
that's
don't
very
get.
sad.
The
yeah,
Manosphere's talking points are if you're over 30, you hit the wall. If you have
mm,
children, you're not accepted anymore. And
mm,
if you're overweight, you're a disaster and you just can't find anyone.
mm,
Well,
Sister
you know
George
when
is
it, and
all three
then
of those things.
you know what? But we know that you can't take. We know we can't take them seriously. And for the fact that she married Curlin at four, she said she's 40 something years
Yes.
old. She was a
mm,
Yes.
single mom,
Yes.
and so she's the stereotypical, according to them, hit the wall, right?
Yes.
mm,
And so, but how can you imagine how much twerking she had to do to get a
mm,
ring from that guy?
So what
mm,
I'm saying is that proves them wrong. Sister George,
Right,
you proved them wrong. So
right.
why do you have to push the narrative when you can just say, look, I'm a success story. You guys are
mm.
wrong.
Mm,
I, I,
Yeah,
mm,
I
mm.
just don't get why she maybe it's for validation. Maybe
It's for
that
yeah,
clout. It's for clout. It's for male validation. The whole marriage is a clout chase. It's a whole, made for YouTube marriage, in my opinion. And also in my opinion, she's too old to be clout chasing like that. It's just weird to me. That's another thing
mhm.
that's very weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, because you expect people in their mid to late 40s to,
Yes,
like
to make better
be a little
choices.
bit more mature, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, than a
yeah.
30-year
Be
old.
more
I would
discerning.
expect. Yeah, exactly.
Talk about
Yeah.
bad choices in men. That's horrible.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I mean, because I'm gonna tell you, I just stopped talking to somebody, honey. I'm glad I stopped talking to him too, because he's a whole predator. Okay, but
Mm,
it's a long story, y'all. I can't even tell you all of it tonight. I can't tell
mm,
you, but I'm
mm,
glad I stopped talking to him. I'm gonna tell
yeah.
you, and he got his own business. He got money. He got money, but he ain't right. He ain't
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
yeah, that's
I
also
rejected him. Yeah, I
But Miss
rejected him.
Olivia,
Oh
thank you
yeah.
Yeah.
so much. Thank you
Okay.
so much for
Okay.
having me. I really appreciate it. I'm
All
going to
right.
come down now and give somebody else a chance to go on and share some dialogue with you. But thank you
Okay.
so much for having me.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you, son.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye,
Have a
everybody.
nice night, love.
Bye.
But yeah, but you know what? Sister No, but that's one of the
Mhm.
ways that they manipulate some women because they do
Mhm.
have a business and they do have money.
Yeah.
They dangle that
Live in a big old
in
house on the lake, honey.
the
A big old
woman's,
house on the lake, and I I can't deal with it though. He like to
yeah,
argue all the time.
yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like a man that like to argue all the time.
yeah,
That get
out
a
of
kick out
feminine
of arguing
energy.
with women. You know what I mean? I don't like that. Cause
Yeah.
because
Is this
I'm
you,
a
Saida?
say
Yeah,
what?
it's me, Miss Olivia.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Hi,
Hey, sincere
Noble.
Saida, how you doing?
Good. Look, I
Hey,
have
the Tea Lounge.
a question for the Oracle.
Okay.
You know, the all knowing. I gotta ask you. So okay. I there's a guy that comes onto my channel from time to time, and he considers himself part of the Manosphere. And
Mhm.
and I've been asking him a lot of questions because I want to know, right? I want to have a full understanding of, their perspective of it, per say what my perspective was, right?
Mhm.
For some reason they keep talking about it's a man cave, like, or he says it was meant for all the guys to come together and be like a man cave thing, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm saying, well, you're telling me that, but you're saying that there were sections within the whole, like Kevin Samuels is his own, and then it was like Obsidian and this person and that person, right? But these people have went off and ventured different ways, except for Kevin Samuels, he's passed away, right? But you
Mm.
make it seem like it's sections or subsections within the whole group. And I always looked at it as one thing because it seems to me they all seem to say the same shit. Like,
Mm.
I'm just wanting to ask you, what is it? How would you define it, Miss Olivia? Because I just need to know. It's,
As far as the ministry goes,
yeah,
um, well, they all click up. I'm sure they got different groups that click up, but see, when it comes to them, at the end of the day, they are unified about one thing. One thing of they hate and they love to objectify and denigrate black women. So they may have subsections or little splinter groups, but they all are joined together when it comes to the hate that they have for women. And that's why you got like Manosphere, men going their own way, save yourself, black man. When they talk about the man cave, when all the men in the cave together, that's homosexual to me right there.
Mhm.
I hope,
You know,
Homosexual. Mm.
you know.
that's what that sound like to me. It's a little creepy. It's a lot creepy. And so yeah, a lot of their exes are very suspect. The way they just want to clean. I never heard of a heterosexual man that don't want to be around women.
That's what I'm trying
Mhm.
to say. I didn't know it was called going your own way because I kept on trying to explain it, right? I was like, how do you separate yourself? Every kind or every living creature has a counterpart. It's the male and female. How do
Mm,
you separate yourself? I don't, and legally, you're legally trying to do it in some type of way. So I don't know how they're titling it because they want to take
mm.
legal measures. But how do you separate yourself from your counterpart? That is,
Mm.
that's
Why would you
antithetical.
want to? Why
Yeah,
would you want to unless you want to live in you're trying to do that. They're trying to do that whole Greco-Roman thing.
No.
Because in the ancient Greco-Roman culture, the Roman men, they would marry wives, right? And they would only sleep with them for procreation, literally
Mhm.
only
Yep.
to make them pass along their seed, right? But they
Mhm.
preferred the company of prepubescent boys. That is how they
Exactly.
got, that is how they got their gratification for prepubescent boys. And like I said, they only used the women to subjugate them and to procreate, carry on the family name. And so I guess that's the life that they want to live, honey.
I
That's
wonder
what it
what
sounds like
court
to me.
would allow that, but when it comes to black people, they probably would allow that crap. Because
But
anything
that
that's gonna be antithetical to us surviving, to our
right,
survival, to our
right.
they want us to be extinct, Miss Olivia.
Absolutely. Well, that's why they see. That's why I don't like when black women are on the front lines fighting for fighting against them dismantling Roe v. Wade. That is not our fight because they wouldn't care if every last black woman that's ever been pregnant had an abortion. They only care. They're trying to overturn Roe v. Wade because the Anglo numbers are dwindling, and
Exactly.
they want to take that right away from Anglo women because the numbers, they need the numbers. They need them to stop having abortions. See, that really is not our fight because eugenics was entered, was taught to our community and brought into our communities, long ago, decades and
Mhm.
decades ago, just like drugs was brought into our communities. All of that is meant that all of that is part of a larger agenda when it comes to black people in the black community. They wouldn't care if we had abortions every day, all day. They wouldn't give a
Yeah,
damn.
a war
They
on it.
wouldn't care.
So,
That's about Anglo women. They don't want them killing them babies no matter what. Even if
Mhm.
in cases of rape and incest, as long
Mm.
as it's a white life, they want it to be on the planet. They in America. They want it to be here because they fear that they really believe of that replacement theory crap.
Mm.
And I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
but my thing is, if they say we are only what 13 or 14% of the population, how
Mhm.
can we replace them when we are only 13 or 14% of the population.
Mhm.
Number two,
Mhm.
where are the people going that we are supposed to be replacing? Because we
Right.
sure ain't laying them down. We sure ain't making them unalive. So what are we sending them into space?
Well, they trying to get their asses to Mars right now, and they building like bunkers and stuff way down, way
Yeah,
down.
I guess that's where we're supposed to be sending them. Then maybe they're in the bunkers down below.
They trying to separate themselves from us, but good riddance to bad rubbish, as I say.
Mhm.
But I
But
want to
yeah,
say this.
yeah.
This whole thing is so deep, it's so ridiculous because I start thinking about W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, right? Now, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people like they want to elevate W.E.B. Du Bois. I always want to say how great he was, but they don't want to talk about when he was over there dealing with Marcus Sangler and them, and had all them
Yeah.
pastors knocking on the doors to abort them black babies. And they don't want to talk about how he did that Hamilton 10th thing where he's just,
Yes.
the elitism and all
Yes.
that, and
Yes.
colorism and all that stuff.
And they don't want to talk about his white wife either.
Okay, and look, this is the thing. It be people that what they say, like look like you, but ain't you. You know what I mean?
That's right.
All
Uh-huh.
skin folk and kinfolk, and so
Yep.
we need
That's
to get down
right.
to the nitty gritty of all of it, and just
Uh-huh.
and rid ourselves of all the BS.
Yeah.
We're the only people that are going straight to extinction and trying to and helping people. We helping them
Yeah.
do the
Yeah,
thing.
like I said, the sad thing to me, and I'm glad you said that because see, for so long we've heard and I'm openly and proudly pro-black because it's not a hustle for me. I don't ask anybody for anything. I'm pro-black because that's how I was raised. I want to benefit my people collectively, not individually, because individually we are never going to be a unified people. But the thing is, we don't have to be unified. We just have to be on code when it comes to us protecting us. And so I don't preach a unification because that's not possible. Because see, the thing is, sometimes we want more. We make excuses like, oh, we're not unified. That's why we don't protect, our own people. We just seen what happened in Buffalo. But the thing about it is, when it comes to the Anglos, right? They are not all unified either. But they are all on code. When it comes to them protecting them and them looking out for their best interest, they are on code when it comes to that. But are they all unified? No. And left
Let,
to their own devices, they'll cancel each other out.
let me tell you
They
something.
on code when it comes to them saving them though, but we not.
Miss Olivia, let me tell you something. Now, people used to like trip off of me because I used to watch all those little groups like the 4chans, the 8chans, all of them. I would keep
Mm-hmm.
eyes on them. For
Mm-hmm.
me, is you have to know your enemy, right? That's how I look
Mm-hmm.
at things. And so, they they have their own little language and stuff.
Yeah.
All things they
No
be
eat language.
in your
Yeah.
face, into you crazy and all that right in
Mm-hmm.
front of your face. They don't care right about but they don't care about that woman, right? My
Mm-mm.
understanding is also the only reason why they care is because they want to keep their numbers, right?
The
I've known
numbers. Yeah.
for a long time. All the rhetoric. So with that Buffalo shooter, I knew exactly what it was. With the
Mm-hmm.
whole situation, I know what it was. And what kills me about the whole thing with the Manosphere, my understanding is all them niggas started being part of that situation because it was following a whole bunch of white incels.
But that's actually how it got started. The Manosphere was originally for the Anglos, right? And you had a few black folks in there, and the black guys wanted to start speaking ill, of course, about black women in particular. And a lot of the white guys was, hey, this not about race. We trying to get ABC and D done when it comes to our women. They kept injecting, speaking very derogatorily and trying to make it about race because they kept denigrating the black woman. And so they kicked them out. They pushed them out, right? And so they pushed them out. When they pushed them out, they started the Manosphere 2.0. Now, O'Shea already had the Negro Manosphere over there, which is nothing but a play on the original Manosphere, was the idea of the Anglos, in the first place, and they just took on those Anglo ideals. because they couldn't, get to the nitty gritty when it come to denigrating other black women, because they was on something else. When it come to the Anglo Manosphere, they wasn't worried about no other race of women in particular. They trying to get their own women in order. And
Exactly.
so they kicked the black ones out, and they just and then it started this nonsense right here. What's going on right now? But you're right. It was originally a Anglo idea. Yeah,
Now,
you're right
why?
about that.
Now, part of their complaint is that the black woman is being with the white man, right? And so
Mhm.
they are, or we are now their guard dogs or what have you, and we're everything for us. We're all the things that we desire is for the upliftment of them. But my thing
Right.
is, how you gonna say that when you sat up here and followed behind a whole group of white men that and started something off of them? You didn't even have an original idea. You had to go to a white man to get that idea, and now jumped on that little bandwagon and
Yep.
took it to whatever level you took it to.
Yep.
Who's on what? Who's following who? You
They,
want
they they always bow down to the white man. They bow down to the Anglo. They want to kiss the booty cheeks of the Anglo. They want to lay with them. Okay, they want to go their own way with them. If you're really paying attention to a lot of them, they really believe in the failed patriarchy of the Anglo, because they don't have no sense of self. Right. A lot of them, not all black men, but a lot of black men, especially these ones you see in these weirdo incels and these Manosphere men, they don't have their own identities. They are emasculated. They are weak, and they don't know how. Not only do they not know how to lead, they don't know how to deal with women. They don't know how to even be a productive member of society. A lot of them, they're very predatory. It's just really very sad to watch. And they all super emotional. They all
to?
feminine. They're too feminine for me.
Well, I had asked. I said, "Well, how is it that um, what is the purpose of you feeling a certain type of way about black women, but then you need to be around them at the same time?
Right.
It doesn't make any
They
sense."
hate us, and of course they hate us. They want to screw us. Then they hate us. They want to become us. That's why you get so much. We was talking about the transgenders, I think, last night, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
these men having the surgery, to transform into a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then after they turn into a woman, they take an estrogen, they got breast implants, they done split their peen down the middle and turn it into a fake plastic vajayjay. They wear the makeup, the nails, the heels, all of that. But they still, when they talk, they still want to denigrate women. They still want to be very misogynistic. Um, when it comes towards black women, they're in competition with black women to the point to where they want to transform themselves into black women. But even though they now say that they're women now, they still are very misogynistic. That is
But
amazing to
another
me.
thing I asked too, I was like, "Look, Kevin Samuels was, on the other side of the fence," and so,
Right.
to me, that they have a lot of other side of the fence Negroes up in there, and even TS people, and I'm like, so you
Mm-hmm.
tell me you got a whole bunch of over the side of the fence people and TS, and all of y'all sitting up here having an issue with black women,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, and I'm
Child.
all of you,
Hmm.
even the man that wants to be a woman got a problem
Hmm.
with the black woman. That
Yeah.
make it make sense. Make it make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And they do everything they can to look like to transform themselves into the black woman. But
Mm-mm.
you're still misogynistic. So you okay, you got your dress on, you done transgendered yourself into becoming the black woman. So now you're still speaking derogatorily about black women. So I'm saying, well, that tells me that you hate yourself, because you're now a black woman and you're still misogynistic towards black women. Make it make sense.
I think they all have mothers issues. And another thing I want to say is that when they be flying out, it ain't just for them kids. Well, probably it is a kid, but they at the same time they looking for TS, right? Because like in a lot of those countries, they have those boys that look like little girls. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what I said earlier. Yeah, it's just not only the women when they talk about getting a passport. A lot of them are going down there for underage boys as well.
Ain't nobody flying out for no private part, right? You
Thank
you
you.
can get it right there in your backyard. So if
It's
you feel like
weird,
you
but
try,
it's not illegal over there. For them to lay with underage people.
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. They going out for
Mhm.
what is not in the norm, right?
Yeah,
For
for
the
for what is not in the norm. I agree. It's
because
really weird.
I stay asking. I'll ask a whole bunch of questions because I need to know what your mindset is. It's
Yeah,
important, right? And people sometimes engaging in these conversations with them can be frustrating, but for
yeah,
me, formative because I'm trying
yeah,
to get the whole perspective,
yeah,
and what
yeah.
I.
Like George over there,
Mhm.
and George's husband. They in
Mhm.
a whole homosexual relationship. Okay.
Well, she said that she didn't what she said was taken out of context, and I'm like, how is it taken out of context?
Okay. I bet she got a whole strap on over there. Be pushing them up against the wall and making them bend over.
Lord.
Well, I don't. So so she in one breath she says all these things about her mother and stuff, but then she was up there saying, "Oh, I love my mom. My mom is the bomb. She
Mm.
still is and stuff." And I'm like, "Well, girl, then were you just saying all these other things about your mama?"
She just said her mom was on drugs.
She said all that. I mean, but maybe that doesn't really mean much because she's just stating a fact. But the way, but she said her mother was manipulative. But then she turns around
Mm-hmm.
and says this, and I'm just like, well,
Hmm.
it makes sense. You go back and forth. It's like a flounder.
Yep.
You
Because
go.
she's lying to herself about her mother and the relationship
She
and
confused.
who her mother really is.
She's
That's the lie.
she's confused about the relationship because I don't know what happened in that dynamic, but
Yep.
it's torn between the love and hate of her mother.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks to the manosphere, anyways, because they all seem to have some kind of mama issues.
Uh-huh. They all have mommy issues just like her. You're absolutely right. I agree.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just want to hear her like come out and just be honest, straightforward about what
Hmm.
really happened.
Yeah,
That's
me
all
too.
I want to hear about.
She can cleanse herself over here on my channel. I
Yeah,
meant that.
I
I
mean,
meant that.
I just feel like maybe she does have trauma from her childhood,
Hmm.
and
She
I
absolutely
need
does.
her to
I
just
feel
come out
sorry. I feel
and
sorry
say
for that little
something.
girl and her sister Nova.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really do
yeah,
feel sorry for the little girl in her. I'm not gonna lie.
mhm. Yeah.
I feel sorry for that little girl in that household because you got
Yeah.
Oh
like
God.
Oh, you know what? You're right about that. That's a scary
Yeah,
situation. I agree with that
Mhm.
too.
she male
yeah.
identified, the husband's male identified, and she protecting the son, and then the daughter probably going through all kinds of hell because she might be feeling like the daughter, want her son or something like. I could think of all kinds of scenarios. It just
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy. It's a
And
scary
then,
situation. Yeah, somebody brought that up earlier.
mm,
Sure
mm.
did.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Olivia, I thank you so much for letting me up here. I don't get down, but I just have to ask you them questions because you the oracle and you know.
You a mess now. But I mean, yeah, you on point. But I'm glad you I thought it was very interesting when you said you had been paying attention to those 4chan uh
Mhm.
Hmm.
chats and
Hmm.
all of this night because they do speak in code. Did you notice? I don't know if you heard it or not, but the state prosecutor, the district attorney for the what do you call it, the state prosecuting attorney or whatever. I felt like he was speaking on code the other day when he was
Mm.
speaking about how they were going to proceed when it came to charging and putting the Buffalo shooter on trial.
Oh
He
yeah,
seemed
yeah.
very sympathetic to that shooter, and it seemed like he was speaking on code. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
Look,
wow.
it's something
And
about
didn't he say he was going after the parents also? I like that. I like the fact that they're going after the parents because I think
Yeah,
they
they
should
want to go. They
hold
want
some
to go
sort of
after the
financial
parents.
liability. Yeah.
I,
Yeah, they
I
want to go after the parents. They went after the parents of the that little the little fella that the parents that got him a gun for Christmas, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
mm,
shot up the school.
yeah.
Then the parents was on the run. So yeah, they did. I
Mhm.
guess this is gonna be the second time they're doing it,
Oh
huh?
yeah, yeah. I
well,
I,
think
I
the
don't.
parents should face some sort of financial liability behind what their son did. I think so. So
Mhm,
that's a great
absolutely.
idea, and also them suing the gun companies. That's another great idea.
Absolutely, I
So
agree.
yeah,
well, all
I
the
like that.
Genesis are running amok. That little boy went up there with a whip to those people's house and stuff.
Yes,
All these things
girl.
are running amok out here. I'm trying to tell you, it's horrible.
They lost their mind. They in a feeding frenzy right now. They feel threatened and it's done. it's inflicted that racism times 10 crazy switch on them, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Because they believe in this stuff they hearing online and hearing Tucker Carlson over there on Fox talking about some of the great replacement theory.
Oh
The
God.
whites are being replaced by black and brown
Well, let
people. I'm
me tell you what
thinking, make it make sense.
let me tell you where they get that from. They get that from the Turner Diaries. Okay, so that's the Bible. And I told you I'd be like watching the 4chan and all that stuff,
Mhm,
right? The different ones.
mhm.
So in front all of them now back in the day. And I had to take a break from that, because like but I know them. I know them.
They get it from
So,
the Bible?
no, we'll see the Bible. And then there's a book called the Turner Diaries, which is like the white supremacist Bible. So that those
Okay.
go hand in hand. Now, the thing about the white supremacist Bible, which I call the white supremacist Bible, which is the Turner Diaries, in that there's this like apocalyptic situation where the J people are in charge and the black people are under the J people. We're like their flying monkeys, their minions,
Oh,
and we're
okay.
going out to wrangle them all up, busting, open their houses and checking for this and that. So it's like they're the low man on the totem pole now. So they in that whole book is about like stockpiling for weapons and gas and all these different things for these particular scenarios where they are the low man on the totem pole and they're being besieged by us, right? But the J
Mm.
people, the ones in control, and we will just be their minions. The black people will be.
Okay. Okay. I
So
see.
that's part of their whole little situation. That and and then with the Bible, where the Bible says that the nation shouldn't be together or mixed, like it's a whole thing with them. So that's why
Okay.
you get all that races mixing anything that has to do with the annihilation of their line or their lineage, their life, extinction, all that stuff comes from that. The fear, right? The fear of not having dominance anymore or being the sole control of a situation. Yes, it's all in that thing. It's called the Turner Diaries, and that's their little
Okay.
Bible.
Check it out.
I've-
Yeah,
I'm
Mr.
checking out
Truman,
it.
the Republicans are using it as a manipulation tactic as well. They're fear mongering. You know, that's why Tucker Carlson is over there talking about replacement theory. The whole thing is just word.
There's
They're
all
running back and lose their mind.
well.
Oh, y'all, I fear there are going to be more white nationalist attacks in
Yeah,
the coming days. I just fear,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're actually planning to attack more places. That little boy is not alone. He had some males or some females, whoever he been dealing with. They influenced that little boy to go and do what he did. That boy drove 200 miles from his hometown to go and kill black people. He is not alone
Mm-mm.
in his actions. There are people behind that boy that put that boy up to doing that.
Well, he
Okay.
sent 30 to 30 people a copy of that manuscript or some either a write-up he did
Mhm.
or a copy of that manuscript, but he sent out some kind of instructions and it hit 30 people. Now, if you think about what is this, 6 degrees of separation, so at least all 30 of those people knew 6 people, right?
Yeah,
Those 6 people will know at least 6 people, right? So it's going he was, sending it out. So I'm certain it's been circulated a couple of times to the right people because they're trying to kick off a race war.
yeah, of course. And Al Sharpton asked, every time something like that happened, him and Ben Crump show up to try to quell, a race riot or a race war from happening. That's their job, to quell whatever potential race riot that could occur because of these events. Uh, but I feel like before there become like a race war in this country, that the federal government is going to step in. I do truly believe that the federal government is going to step in and stop that from happening, because it definitely does not benefit the country, for there to be some sort of civil war again. Okay, it won't benefit this country.
Mm.
So
But what they want is some kind of purge scenario. They don't
oh
even want to. They really don't even want. Don't really want freedom anymore. They
Right.
wanted this country to turn into a dictatorship led. They want it to be a dictatorship, and not a democracy. In
yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
Thank you, David. That's
No,
what they want,
that's called the
and
new.
they figure. But my thing is, How long can you push? Now, see, here's the thing. This is the problem that I got. We know that when it comes to this community, right? However shaky it is, how far, how low do they have to go, before black people will start fighting back,
Mm.
or would they ever fight back?
They're
You
not
know,
aware of that. They feel like that we are perfectly conditioned.
right? Yeah, yeah, right. And because they said, what did that boy say? Only thing we do is pray. All they do is pray.
They don't see anything that is of like, authority or that's
They don't respect the men. They don't respect black. They absolutely don't respect black men.
courage. They don't see any of that. They just see cowardice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
They
it.
really do think we're stupid. So, that's that part too.
Mm.
But I say, watch that mayor over there, that black mayor over there in Buffalo, because he has said that he wanted to get more police. And I said, well, what you need you want to do more funding for the police for? Because my thing, he said the community said they fear of their safety, right? They've been
Mhm.
for that. So I'm saying, well, they've been asking for it. Then have they been getting terrorized by white folks all this time, or is it something that happens between all communities where there is going to be some kind of crime or whatever? Like, what are you
Well,
doing?
well, let me tell you this, Saida. Did you peep gang? Okay, we had the Buffalo mass shooting, and a couple of days after that, they passed. Biden has done passed a new crime bill, right? So
Mm,
now we remember what kind of crime bill
mm.
he passed the last time when he turned it. What Hillary Clinton say, the super predator. I call it the super
And he like
predator crime bill
he
that
like
incarcerated hundreds of thousands of black men and
Yeah.
destroyed the community.
he was pushing it, and right after after that shooting what happened over there, he got right
Mhm.
on the little news media cycle, started talking about his crime bill and
Yep.
stuff, and
Yep.
And you all know that that crime bill is going to target predominantly people of color and black people, right?
Yeah.
exactly,
Absolutely.
that's the whole point.
Absolutely.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Mayor over there, he's a black mayor, and this is a black town, right? And somebody had got on my chat the other day, and they said that they do have a police department there. Because I was trying to figure out how long it took them to get to the site, because the man had killed, like, he came straight out. He came out and killed 4 people, and then he got 6 more after that. So where were y'all?
Yeah.
Mm.
They killed 3 or 4 in the parking lot, right?
So where were they? They got there in a minute time. When you got there and you
Hmm.
seen him doing what he was doing, how come you didn't? None of y'all know how to give kill shots off? That's what
I thought he got
I'm
shot by a security guard, like, but he had on a vest. He got
no
shot by a
police.
security
A
guard.
lot of times police could be ex-military, whatever.
Oh.
Nobody knows how to do, like, if you see somebody is heavily armored, right? There is a shot you can take, but it's the one that they will not come back from. They didn't want to do that.
Not for
Exactly.
that white boy. They were finna kill that white boy. They weren't.
No,
They weren't finna do
but
that.
that would have been the reason to do so, because he was out there running amok, killing people. Like, make
Yeah.
Yeah.
sense.
But
Hmm.
I think he had on a vest though, y'all. He had on a vest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had on a vest and a helmet. You know,
Mhm.
he
they
could
did.
have been shot in the arm, in the leg.
Did the whole
You
helmet
know,
cover his face, like his whole entire face, or was it just like a helmet for the head? Like, how
was
was?
for the head.
Okay.
So I'm saying,
Hmm.
like, there are. Look, I'm trying to tell you, them ex-military people, they know what
Hmm.
it is. They
I
been
mean, they could have incapacitated him. You're absolutely right. Uh huh.
did something, and they
Yeah, they
did.
could have incapacitated him. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Did you all see him in court when he went to court? I just did a video talking about that. He looking all sad and down, like you don't want to make eye contact. I mean, I'm looking at him like, ain't no need of looking sad now,
Right.
motherfucker. Killed all these people and injured 3 people and shot and killed 10 people. No
Mhm.
need to look sad now, too late. But he only felt
They
sorry
gonna,
He
they
gonna
gonna get on that. They gonna get him in there, and they gonna treat him like they probably
get.
treat Dylan Roof, the
Mhm.
other race soldier. They gonna treat him very well, and he
for.
gonna be just fine.
He
Exactly.
gonna
He
be
gonna end up in a prison out of state. He ain't going to no damn state prison in New York. That's not gonna happen.
He'll be just fine.
listen, sister. No, but he gonna have 3 hots in a cot, as my grandmother
Yeah,
was.
exactly. He
3
going
hots
Mhm.
in a cot.
he going somewhere out of state to another prison, it's gonna be like a country club wherever they send him to. Gonna be like a damn country club. He gonna probably be on a farm somewhere milking cows and shit. Honey, trust me, he not gonna suffer. That white
No, he
boy
ain't gonna
ain't
be
gonna
in
suffer.
the way.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he ain't gonna be in harm's way at all.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he
not.
ain't gonna suffer. He ain't gonna suffer, honey. He ain't gonna suffer. And they gonna make sure he not around black folks. I'm gonna tell you that now. I'm talking
Right,
about black
absolutely,
kids.
right, right.
Black kids.
Well,
And
he had well, somebody in the comments said he had full tactical gear or
yeah,
body armor on. My thing is that after he did what he did, he was getting ready to shoot himself in the head, or where he knew where to go. He knew where to go on it, so he was gonna take his own life. But they talked him off the ledge.
Yeah, they
mm.
said he put the gun under his chin. That's what they
Okay,
Oh,
said.
so there. I'm just saying.
oh, yeah, I missed that part. They said he put the gun under his chin. I missed
Uh
that
huh.
part.
Uh
I
huh.
missed. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
say, I mean, me personally, I think because I don't know if there's any kind of shooters on the squad, but I would have been looking for probably a head or a neck shot, and that's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, well, I mean, we gonna have to get ready, y'all, because it's gonna be more white nationalist attacks in the coming days and in the future. Okay, we're gonna have to get ready because them people are planning. They planning. Okay, they are making plans, and it's gonna be more places that they're gonna target killing black people. Okay, just
But
But they've been planning. All they
they,
need is to go ahead. You know,
mhm.
they've been doing that, haven't they, Saida?
They've been doing. That's why I
You've
keep on.
been on them sites. They've been planning. Uh huh.
They've been
yeah.
stockpiling. They've
Oh
been.
yeah,
And they already a lot of them was out in the woods and stuff, like survivalists and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. They
mm,
Absolutely.
in motion. They,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I gotta
I
go, ladies. I might be in the chat though. Thank you, Miss Olivia.
Okay.
I
tell
see.
Okay.
you.
Thank you for coming up.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, you right, Sister Noble. You know, and the thing is that when it comes to us, and they even train their children, in early on,
Yeah.
and like especially like down here down south. Now my daddy, taught me to hunt. Of course, we know how to fish, but he taught me to hunt and shoot a rifle. I was about maybe 11 or
Yeah.
12 years old. But they have
I was
kids
taught
on
to
the
call
gun
on Jesus.
ranges all the time, and all of this and all of that as a rite of passage. They will have some of them they will have their kids. They would
Mhm.
drop them off in the middle of the woods and make them stay all night.
Yeah. Oh
See
God.
see if they can survive to the morning.
Call on
Yeah.
Jesus, honey, but I should have been taught how to shoot a gun. That what I should have been taught. I was taught growing up how to call on Jesus, honey. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go get me a weapon. Now I'm glad,
Please, if you don't have one, please go get your weapon. Absolutely.
yeah, I'm glad Governor Kemp passed this bill where you don't have to go do background. I mean, you ain't got to go get fingerprinted. Okay.
Y'all
Now,
gotta open a curry. What I mean, you don't have to do all that no more. It's like in Tennessee.
stuff.
I got an open curry and a concealed carry permit. We bought that. We bought both of them. But now you don't even have to have none of that to own a gun.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want my money back. Shit.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get me a gun because, honey, it's getting dangerous in Atlanta, Georgia. These
Absolutely.
folks crazy as hell down here. I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you,
you got it in Georgia, girl.
I live in Atlanta, honey. They cracking down on gangs here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's
Oh,
about time.
I mean, they say I don't know if it's true or not, but is it true that they done gentrified almost all of the city?
They have gentrified at least 70% of Atlanta. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is crazy to me.
That is so true.
That is crazy. They gave Atlanta to the black folks. Now they taking it back, huh?
It's still a
Wow.
lot of black people that live in the city, but yeah, a lot of them have moved out to the suburbs as well. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, they're switching places. The Anglos, they don't want to live in the suburbs no more. They
Yeah.
want to live in the metropolitan area. So now they switching they taking all the black folks, they sending all the black folks to the suburbs, and because the Anglos want to live in the city now. They want the city life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Girl,
Oh
that's
yeah.
a big.
But they
So
won't.
that's the reason for all that gentrification.
And to jack up the prices here, the rent has gone up at least over 100% in the past
Wow.
year. Okay,
Wow.
alone. And honey, to live in Atlanta, you gonna be paying at least 1,200 for
Mm,
rent. Okay,
wow.
and that's only a two-bedroom, baby, at
Hmm.
$1,200. That's
I was
the
gonna
average.
say, is it a 1 bedroom?
One bedroom is gonna be about around 1,000. Okay,
Right,
which
right, right.
$1,000. Okay, so,
Yeah.
but it's very expensive to live here in Atlanta now. You better
But
be
it
on.
was even it's always been expensive to me in Atlanta, even before the gentrification of recent years, it was expensive to me
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
worse now though.
yeah. Oh yeah, much worse.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, sis, I'm gonna step down, and it was nice talking to you.
All
Yeah.
right.
All
Thank
right,
you, Sister Noble. I appreciate you. Thank you, love.
you're welcome.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But y'all, I guess I'm getting ready to go. We've been on here for 2 hours. Um, I enjoyed the conversation. They gentrify out the hoods here. And the white people move there and complain about everything. Is that right, EJ? Child. Mm-mm. Yeah, they don't want to live in the suburbs no more. You know, they want to. You're right, Natasha. We ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, they want to live in the city now, so they moving out of the inner city, the black people out, and moving them out to suburbs. The areas of all those areas like that, and yeah, they gentrifying, just uprooting people from where they've been living for decades. It's messed up, but we know what they want, they get. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna get off here. Thanks you guys for joining me and staying on with me for so long. Um, just wanted to really pretty much do a reaction video to what George did over there tonight. Like I said, which is even more um almost just as deplorable as what she did to start the conversation in the first place. Um, I mean, I think that a lot of people's eyes is really open to this creepy lady, lady slash dude, and so yeah, I just want to talk about it. I'm gonna get off here. Y'all enjoy your Sunday because it is now Sunday, right? Yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Y'all be safe out there. It's been hot I mean, Uber hot ain't even a word, y'all. Um, oh Lord, it's been Lord outside for me. So I can't be doing the extra, right? But anyway, y'all be safe out there. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Keep your eyes and ears open, especially when it comes to the street, because you never know when something's gonna pop off again. Y'all hit the but I'm ready to go. Love you guys. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Bye bye. Peace.